Hello and welcome to another video. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Teacher Natalie. I am an online English teacher and I am a keen traveller, so check out some of my videos on travel. But in this video I want to talk about Cambly and it's my 3-year review. So I've been teaching online for the last 3 years. And I have been working with a few different companies. I've basically been testing out the waters to see which ones are the best and which ones suit my needs. Now I don't have any videos about this company, but before I started teaching on Cambly and some of the other platforms, I was teaching on Palfish. Some of you might be aware of Palfish, you might know what that is, you might not have never heard of Palfish. It was one of the first teaching platforms I taught on. It was taught through an app to Chinese students. 99.9% students came from China. 1 or 2 came from Hong Kong. Long story short, they changed their policy. There was this new rules and regulations in China that meant they weren't really supposed to take lessons with foreign tutors outside of China. But that has kind of not really changed anyway, so there's a little bit of confusion. I don't really know the laws anymore. I still teach loads of Chinese children, but not on Palfish. Palfish, they changed their pay as well. They were basically offering really good hourly salaries to teach English to their kids, and then they changed all of that. So long story short, I was working on Palfish. I'm not anymore. I was working for Palfish for I think about 2 years. And I was just curious to see what other teaching platforms were out there. So Cambly, I heard about Cambly from one of my friends that didn't get hired on Palfish, and she said, yeah, Cambly is so much easier to teach on, more flexibility. But you know, there are some cons with Cambly. I do have another video, pros and cons of Cambly, so definitely check that out if you want to teach on Cambly. But yeah, this is just going to be a 3-year review, what I think. I'm going to show you a little bit about my earnings, what I used it for. So before I start, I was teaching on Cambly super casual. My main income and the majority of my working hours came from Palfish, which was that other teaching platform. I was doing roughly about 4 hours a day on there, and then I'd just use Cambly as an extra top-up, so it would just be like an hour a day or half an hour on the weekend or a couple of hours in the evening. So if I go to history, you can see that my total earnings for this week are $17.40, obviously really minimal. I think I taught like a few students this week. My rating hasn't changed in ages, 4.9 I think it's out of 5. This can depend on obviously whether you're a reliable or unreliable tutor. I have been a little bit unreliable at times on Cambly because it's quite a laid-back platform. I had to cancel a class really last minute because I didn't feel like teaching. I was out with my friends, didn't make it back in time, so I had to cancel a class super last minute. So yeah, obviously that's not something that I encourage, to be laid back and not responsible, but with Cambly a lot of the students don't really take it too seriously. I've got a lot of total chats on there. I've met a lot of students. This is my talk time, and this is the amount I've earned in total, which looks a lot of money if it was a yearly. Unfortunately, that's over 3 years. So you can kind of work out, if you are really good at maths, roughly how much students I teach roughly a week, and it's really minimal. I've used Cambly basically as just a little top-up. It's like not even a side hustle. It's less than that. But the good thing about Cambly is it's really, really flexible. Students don't really require too much. If I just show you appointments here, now I teach on Cambly Kids. You have Cambly and Cambly Kids. When you apply to Cambly, you get hired first on Cambly, which is just like free talking. You can meet with adults, you can meet with children, but you don't have a set curriculum to teach. With Cambly Kids, you do. I'm going to show you. This is Abdullah. I've had him for about a year. He's from Saudi Arabia. You can't see his face or anything, so I can obviously show you this booking. So we'll just go, you can see Cambly Kids. Click on his little icon. He's chosen a lion. The appointment's for 30 minutes. And if we just go on to enrolled courses, you can see all the courses he's going to be taking or has taken. All these courses that are in grey means that he's taken this class with me already. So the only ones he's got left basically in this unit would be number 49, which is education. So this is the lesson. We're going to be talking about these vocabulary words. This is what is going to get from most of the lesson, and I'll just show you some example slides. So it's really laid back. I don't even have to stick to this slide. For example, if Abdullah's feeling tired and he's not really interested in this lesson, I could basically upload something different. I could upload a video. I could say, Abdullah, let's watch this video and let's just talk about this video. Because kids are taking Cambly to learn, but they're also not in this strict school environment. They've been at school all day. They don't want to be doing some extra classes at night and feeling like they've got to pay attention and they've got to do exactly as you say. Of course they do, but it's a bit more flexible, like let's just have fun whilst learning as well. And I think parents appreciate it. You know, if their kid is feeling really, really tired and not really interested, if you create a fun lesson for them, they're going to learn something rather than just switch off. So yeah, this is an example of a lesson. Really, really simple. Basically, I get them to just read those words, talk a little bit what that means, excuse me, give some examples. So yeah, I won't talk too much about, obviously, the slides on Cambly. I just want to talk about, you know, my 3-year review, what I kind of think about Cambly. So, excuse me, I've got something in my throat. I think Cambly is a great platform if you're not looking to rely off it as a full-time income, because it is very hit and miss. And what I mean by that is if I was to open up, say, 8 bookings on this Tuesday, so tomorrow, the good thing is I'd probably get immediate bookings. I'd get random students that I've never met before, all booking lessons with me, and maybe 90% of them would book again and again and again. So you get lots of reoccurring students. The disadvantage of Cambly and my 3-year review on Cambly that I notice it's very unpredictable. So if you are relying off a full-time income, you could literally open 8 hours a day and only teach for 4, because out of all the students you've had booked, half don't even show up, or they cancel last minute because the parents just think, oh, actually James isn't really feeling it today, we'll cancel his lesson tonight with teacher Natalie. And because they've not prepaid for the lesson, they only pay for it, it only comes out of their account once the lesson's finished. Even if the kid doesn't even show up to the class, the parent's not lost any money, but the tutor sitting there hasn't been paid, and it's a waste of their time that another student that would have taken your class could have had. So that can be very frustrating. So definitely, please, if you are going to apply to Cambly, it's a wonderful, wonderful platform. I've had the best time teaching on there. I'm still teaching with this platform. I've made friends on Cambly, obviously professional, of course. I haven't gone out of my way to meet up with students, but I do have, you know, good friendships with students I've had for a long time that are loyal. But even they can be unreliable and cancel classes. And like I say, if you're relying off this platform as a full-time income, you're going to be really disappointed, because there can be a lot of unpredictability where students are cancelling, not showing up, and like I say, out of your 8-hour day, you've only made money for 4 hours. So yeah, I'll do some other videos on some other platforms, but definitely don't rely off Cambly as a full-time income. Some teachers do, and there'll be teachers out there that claim, you know, they make £1,000 a month or $1,000 a month on Cambly. They will, and they are telling the truth, but there'll be a lot of hit and miss with that salary. And maybe if you're a digital nomad and you are young and you want to travel and you want to go and live in Asia for a bit, Cambly is probably a good platform to work for, because it's 24 hours a day. You can teach at any time of the day. There'll be always some students taking classes depending on what time it is in their country. And obviously the cost of living and your food and everything in these South Asian countries are a lot less. So your hourly salary on Cambly will mean more to you living in, say, Thailand than it would in the US or in England or in Spain. But for 3 years I've been with this platform and I do love it. I would be really sad without it. It's just pocket money. It really is. You know, I make probably about $30 or $40 a week just by teaching like this schedule on Cambly, and I'll show you my appointments. You can see this week I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 students. Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 students again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students. So it's pocket money. But for 3 years I've not had any issues. Yes, there have been times where I've had frustrating kids that have been a little bit disrespectful and I've had to remove. I've had one parent that I had a little bit of a tiff with, she accused me of being a teacher basically, and her little girl was just pulling faces at the camera and covering the camera. She was really young, she was from Turkey. She wasn't interested in learning. Her mum just basically dumped her in front of the camera, and I just couldn't get her to listen. She was covering the camera, she would leave the room, she'd like cover the camera with a towel or put a toy there like a teddy bear and just leave the room. And I messaged her mum a few times and she used to just come back and say I was a shit teacher basically. So I didn't enjoy that. I ended up blocking the student, because you can do that option, have that option. But apart from that, I've had a great time. So yeah, just bear in mind that you can't rely off this as a full-time income. Do it as a side hustle, a bit of extra cash. It'll be a great experience if you do want to go into teaching or you want to work with children eventually. Give it a try. I'll leave my referral link in the description below. Let me know if you have any questions regarding Cambly, but I would fully recommend it. I love teaching on Cambly. Alright, I will stop waffling. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care guys. Bye.